Hey guys, this is a video talking about the concept of whether lower tire pressures generate more or less heat. Uh, the tire pressure model has been switched from previous F1 games to this game, where now lower tire pressures generate more heat on the tires. Some people have been saying that's realistic or not realistic. So here's my thoughts on that as an engineer. So we have this ideal gas law. This is a concept that some people have been saying. Um, Right, so you have pressure times volume, equal sign here, equals number of moles times the gas constant times the temperature. So when you inflate a tire, you're adding more moles or N to a tire. So it doesn't directly, cause the temperature of the tire to increase. But what you're doing is when, that pump, it's taking ambient air and it's compressing it, um, like in a fixed volume and with a fixed number of moles, and that is increasing the temperature. And then that air is going into the tire, and therefore, so when you inflate a tire or you add more pressure to a tire, it will temporarily become hotter. Now, something that this equation doesn't show is that the air in the tire doesn't just stay hotter in its own enclosed environment, right? Heat transfers out of the tire, so eventually that tire is going to return to ambient temperature. So no matter the pressure in the tire, eventually that tire is going to be cold, or it's going to get to ambient temperature. So I wouldn't use this ideal gas law to say whether lower tire pressures will increase heat or not increase heat on a tire. One thing to know is that tires have an optimal design pressure and temperature. You see this in ACC some, where you're trying to get into a pressure range, as well as making sure that the tire is green and not red or blue for cold or hot spots. Just shows that there's a range of which right here, pressure's on the bottom, grip is here. There's a range of which you're getting the most grip from a given hot tire pressure. So reasons lowering pressure generates more heat. You get additional sidewall flexing. This could be either a lateral or front to back load. So this is a drag tire when it starts, where it's getting super compressed. Even if you just like take a piece of rubber or an eraser or something, if you move it back and forth enough, or like one of those pink erasers, it's going to generate heat just from flexing and unflexing. So that's one way that if you have softer or lower tire pressure, you get more of that flexing. You'll get more heat generated into the tire. And then additionally, you have additional rolling resistance. When the tire is like flatter, and it's like a deflated tire, you're losing, there's more friction being generated, so you have more rolling resistance. That usually means less top speed, but also more heat into the tire. One thing to note is that we're assuming that the speed at which the car is driven is the same for high and low pressure tires. Back to the other graph, and in F124, there is some loss of grip between setting very low tire pressures, as what we've seen is that if you go really low in the tire pressures, you're going to lose grip. That loss of grip could mean you're generating less heat, right? If you have less grip and you're driving the car, at the limit, you're going to have less lateral loads on the tire, so you could generate less heat that way. But also, if the car is sliding around more, it could be under higher pressure too. It could also generate more heat. So, to say that lower tire pressure generates more heat, you need to assume that the amount of loads that you're putting on the tire are equal in both scenarios. And then just to get back to this equation, we've seen the ideal gas law. Obviously, as the tire heats up, the internal pressure will increase. So you have hot pressures and cold pressures of tires. That's why you want to measure your tire pressure on like a road tire at a cold tire pressure. So you want to make sure the tire is cold. This has happened because it's a fixed like a volume system inside the tire. The volume isn't changing, the number of moles isn't changing. So hopefully that helps, give you some explanation of why, in general, lower tire pressures can increase heat generated by tires. Thank you so much for watching. See ya. Bye.